How is it going, you lovely lot? Welcome back to Parks of Prem. It's episode number 63. I hope you're having a lovely Friday today. Might be a bit of a surprise. It's going to be the season end finale. Today's opening game is going to be the FA Cup semi-final. If we win that game, we're doing the final and wrapping up the season. If we don't win the game, I'll level with you, I'm not sure what the plan is. The form over the last month has kind of meant we've fallen out the Champions League fight. There is still a technical slim chance we could get top four. It does feel a little unlikely, sadly. On top of that, since last episode, we've had our youth intake. Let's run the intro and get straight into things, shall we? Now, first things first, I've got to issue an apology to someone. Not one of you watching. You never deserve apologies. No, Andy Robinson deserves an apology because I forgot to mention him last episode. I signed this guy in the January transfer window. Never mentioned it. He had a release clause at Charlton, was playing some decent regular championship football for them. Admittedly, doesn't exactly have goal-scoring prowess for a striker, but at 18, for £4.4 million as a release clause, I couldn't say no. My scouts rate his potential. We've brought him into the team. He's developing nicely. I will admit his 8 finishing, 11 composure, and 12 off the ball for a striker are a little off-putting. But nevertheless, he looks like he could be a very good player. We're definitely going to be keeping a close eye on his development. Now, first things first, we have had a youth intake since last episode. 2 players I really like the look of. A third player who maybe could break into the team at some point. That third player is Scott Finnegan. He has some quite good current ability, but there's question marks over his potential. A centre attacking mid who's got some really good attacking ability. Physicals are sadly lacking a bit. And in terms of the 2 players I'm very excited about, the first is Will West. Yes, Willie over here, or won't he? He will be a striker, I'm pretty sure. I don't see a world where he plays to centre mid for us. As a striker, though, I think he could be quite good if he can develop. In terms of what he's got as a player, he's very well-rounded, it has to be said. We need to specialise him into a good little forward. Maybe lacks a little bit physically. He's not the biggest player in the world, but the lad's 15. Hopefully he grows. And the other one we've picked up, Gary Phillips, I like the look of. Great potential, good, solid kind of outlay for initial attributes for a player. No obvious gaps, just needs to improve everywhere. Downsides, inconsistent, injury prone. Obviously, he's 15 years old. I suppose it's important to remember at this point, FM25 is probably going to be out in the next 2 months. I don't know how much we're ever going to see of these players, but we got some okay ones in this year's intake. Unfortunately, that is kind of where the good news ends. Of course, last episode, EFL Cup final, we lost against Tottenham. I had the very next game against them in the FA Cup. Of course, we won it. I feel like this is just a very football manager thing, isn't it? Yeah, we managed to beat Tottenham in the game at their stadium, having lost the final against them. 3-2 win. Joe McHugh, who scored a late winner against Man City, getting a late winner again in this one. This guy, on off the bench, is just very, very clutch. And it has to be said, McHugh here, ever since we signed him, he's just got better and better and better. Only 3 starts, but 18 appearances on off the bench. Very excited to see what he might be able to become in the next few years. From there, though, a not so good start. A 3-0 defeat against Aston Villa basically waved goodbye to any hopes of winning the title. As unrealistic as they were, yeah, this result really did it for us. Engels picked up 2 goals. I don't even feel like this guy's that good, but he's playing for a Villa team who are in the top 4, so he must be better than I realise. We did manage to beat Brentford, which was nice, 2-0, and then in the FA Cup quarter-final, League 1 Lincoln got bullied. Yeah, we beat them 7-0. 0-0 against Chelsea. A bit of a contrast in fortunes there. We couldn't find a way through, but Chelsea, very good defensively this year. In fact, if we look at things here, Chelsea, 26 conceded in 34 games. The issue for them, they've only actually scored 33 goals. So 0-0 was the least surprising result ever. We did get a really, really good result against Everton, 5-0. Another clean sheet. We had a little run of clean sheets. The only downside, another Will Lancashire injury. It's not even funny at this point. He broke his ribs. He probably is going to miss the vast majority of the end of the season. And the injury issues for this guy are just a bit sad, really, at this point. I mean, he's twisted his ankle 3 times, groin strain, broken ribs, so much football missed. Despite that, he's actually in double figure for Premier League goals this year. If he'd stayed fit all year, he'd probably be up there as one of our top goal scorers. And well, speaking of our top goal scorer, he got sent off as we took on Arsenal. I did consider doing this in a video. We've done so many matches against Arsenal. If we beat Man City in the FA Cup semi-final, I have to play Arsenal at the end of the year. Figured, let's not do this game. Kind of glad I didn't do it. They bullied us. Rolk injured. Sheldon sent off. Yeah, he's unavailable for the FA Cup semi-final today. What does that for mean, I hear you ask? Well, sadly, Arsenal now are 10 points ahead of us with 5 games remaining. Very, very unlikely we're going to catch them. In terms of the teams above us, Manchester United are technically within touching distance. I say that, they're 4 points ahead of us. They have got the same game in hand that we have over both Tottenham and Villa, who sit on 68 and 71 points. Yeah, at this point, I'm looking over my shoulder and realising ourselves and Man City look destined to finish 5th and 6th. Newcastle trail us by 9 points. But to be honest, you know what? If you told me 5th or 6th at the start of the year, I probably would have taken it. Anyway, we do have both Man City and Man City to play today. Yeah, we've got to play them twice. In terms of for the episode, we are going to do this semi-final game. If we win the semi-final, we're doing the final of the FA Cup to end the season and to end this video. If we don't win this game, I'm probably just going to come back and maybe do the last game of the league season. I think that's the plan. I mean, being real for a moment, our season now really entirely hinges on trying to win the FA Cup. This is what we are playing for. Sadly, to do it is going to be a struggle, I think, today, because Lancashire is injured, Sheldon is suspended, so in the final third, we're lacking a little bit of the normal presence that we'd have. Meredith and Mohammed are going to play up top. Meredith this year having a really good season. 14 goals to his name, surpassing his total from last season, which is great to see, especially given the fact we spent £31 million on him. In terms of Rashid Mohammed, started this year as our 4th choice striker. To be honest, at this point, he's perhaps been one of the most consistent strikers in our team. The fact he's played 21 matches gives you an idea of just how many injuries we've had, the fact that he's played so many games now. And over on the right-hand side, Brennan is the man I'm going to continue to give the nod to. A couple of other players I could be considering for this striking area. Anderson, who of course we signed in January as an emergency sub-option. Not had to call upon him as often as I perhaps suspected we might. And elsewhere, Rudy Shirtliff, I'll be honest, has not shown any signs of development this year. I've been keeping a close eye on the 21-year-old. He's not improved. I'm pretty certain at this point already he's hit his current ability. And besides a flurry of goals in the Carabao Cup, when I've played him in the league, he's not been all that. In terms of the rest of the team, I'll be honest, it kind of picks itself. Anton is still between the sticks. There has been some talk lately of him being called up for Italy. To be fair, he could still be called up for Italy and never play for their national team. But with his 20 aerial reach, he's actually been on a good little run of form in our last 5 games, which is pleasing to see. When it comes to the back four, I'm not going to pretend things have been perfect, but when you look at recent games, we've been on a string of clean sheets, so we're going to stick with them. They've all got the nice, satisfying lines between them all. And further up the pitch, Wallace with a 7.38 rating and Ajaria with a 7.34 rating in the wing-back areas. Having really good ends to the year. I need them to keep that momentum going here. Now, of course, the FA Cup semi-final is at Wembley. This is a competition Wanderers have won 5 times in their history, albeit we've not won it in 150 years, and it was quite a different competition back then. We're 2 matches away from doing it here. This opposition are playing their full-strength team. I don't know. For some reason, I thought they might rotate things. Man City have not rotated things. Hendricks up front, and I am scared. After last game, I'm so scared to overthink things. The final against Tottenham was not pretty. Some of you weren't so kind in the comments. It's not going to change my approach, though. I'm going to do Football Manager my way, and whether it works or not, I guess we'll find out together. Gvardiol plays it inside to Batterina. Please do not foul immediately. Ajaria, nice tackle. Henderson, Hatswell. Henderson, Flood. I feel like the highlights played out, and this is just like the pointless bit at the end. But lovely build-up play out from the back. That was enjoyable to watch. I mean, Meredith, is he going to keep the ball alive? He is. I'm just waiting for the highlight to end it. It's just not. Look at this. This is really pretty. Go right, Ajaria. 3 men in the middle. Brennan's one of them. Oh, my word. I mean, that's the way to start this game, isn't it? Bernard Brennan, the youngster, a player who I still believe has bags of potential. I've been giving him game time, and he's rewarded me with a crazy finish there. Not a player who ever would have started this game under normal circumstances. The circumstances are not normal. We've got injuries, we've got suspensions. He's come in, and he's done that. Just noticed that's another assist for Ajaria this year. The right wing-back is having one of his best seasons ever, especially given the level of football we're playing at. Oh, my word. Meredith's gone down. Penalty, ref? Penalty? A Man City bottling it at Wembley? Is it going to be given? Timber's already on a booking, I think. Did he commit the foul? Give him another yellow. Get him sent off. The penalty's been awarded. Sheldon would normally be on the pitch to take them. In his place, Meredith steps up. Oh, this is a really nervy moment, because if we miss this, I feel like we're destined to bottle the game. We lost at Wembley yesterday. We've missed the penalty to make it 2-0, and I'm just screaming into my hands. Okay, we have got a corner. Let's try and keep composed slightly. That is awful, isn't it? I had this feeling he wasn't going to score it. Flood, Brennan, we could still score here, though. Or they could just tackle the ball. That could also happen, right? We're still a goal up. I'm going to praise the players. I've done the praise there, and now a highlight start for Man City. Not like this, Football Manager. The praise hasn't happened yet. Wallace, nice little tackle at left wing-back. Talks about our wing-backs being in form. They've both been very involved in the build-up play and the game so far. Mohamed, lovely build-up player. Jaria on the overlap. Brennan has Hatswell. Hatswell could square it, should square it, does square it. Rasheen Mohamed scores. There's a VAR check. I'm hoping this is going to count. I looked at Hatswell for a 1 goal there and thought, don't shoot, mate. You've got 6 finishing. I've taught him the trait to look for pass instead of shooting. He looked for the pass, and the man he passed to was offside. And, in fact, was he the man offside? Was Hatswell the man offside? Oh, the lines are on top of each other. That's poppycock, innit? That is... It's a lovely goal as well. That's really upset me. We've scored one. We've missed a penalty. We've had a goal ruled out for offside. And it's only 1-0. If we go on to lose this game, I'm going to feel very hard done by. We are rapidly approaching the end of the first half. It's not been a classic in terms of highlights if you're a Man City fan especially. They have done nothing going forward in this game. And, well, there's a late corner to end the half. The ball's whipped in. It goes over the keeper. And Alfie Dorrington is there. It's 2-0. It could be 4, but we have doubled our lead. Now, the question is, why couldn't we do this against Tottenham? And I guess the answer to that question is, well, Tottenham are higher up in the league than Man City. And they're a better side. And you know what? You might have a point there. We're one game away from the final. We're 1 half away from the final. Very happy, lads. Meredith missed that penalty. I could take him off. The issue is I've not really got options to bring on. If I was going to take him off, Shirtliff is the man I have to bring on, who, to be fair, is quite quick and is quite just useful, I feel like, in this kind of game. We're going to bring him on and see what he can do. Okay, everyone. Second half. I don't know about anyone else. I'm feeling nervous. But we've got a 2-goal cushion. So even if they score one, we don't have to panic immediately. And from a defensive point of view, we've been near enough perfect. Man City yet to have a shot on target. An hour now played here. I feel like I should be looking to make some changes. Gallagher in for Flood feels sensible. At centre-back, we're not exactly having the best performances in terms of ratings from the likes of Henderson and MB. Daniel Hoey is the man I've got on the bench because Rolke is out injured at the moment. I think I'm going to take off Hatswell as well. You know what? Joe McHugh, you got a goal against Man City when you played against them before. I want you to go out there and haunt them again. There's 20 minutes left, fresh legs into the midfield. I don't really want to change anything else. A 3rd goal would be the misery compiler. Could we get it here? Gallagher whips in. Brennan misses it, and now maybe a chance for a counter-attack for Man City. They are breaking with men left and right. Baturina for them on the near side, skips past his man, could pull the trigger. It's a difficult angle, should square it, holds it up kind of nicely, although McHugh reads that and gets it to Rudy Shirtliff. The subs link up, and then Rudy does that. I mean, Rudy. I don't know how I feel about Rudy, and I don't know if that comes across in the way I talk about him. We've given the ball away. Kulusevski, who's one of the top goal scorers in the Premier League this year, runs straight down an alleyway that Dorrington dispossesses him in. And now Wallace is going to bring it forward for us. Man City throwing men forward, leaving themselves maybe open for a breakaway like this. Arian B, their centre-back, is going for a wander. He is going for a wander. There's options in the middle. Shirtliff back post. Ajari is there. McHugh. Wallace. Oh, my word. What a goal. It's 3-0. It's done. Wave off the fight referee. They're knocked out. It's over. 14 minutes remain. I'll tell you what, this game is donezo, isn't it? Ajaria lays it to McHugh, lays it to Wallace. The youngsters linking up. And oh my word, what a time to score a goal like that. Time to praise the players some more, I think. I mean, 3-0 up against Man City at Wembley. We've got the final to end things today. It's going to be amazing. I am now just annoyed that we lost against Tottenham like we did last time. Why didn't we play like this? I mean, there's 5 minutes of added time here. Look, Man City, even if they got one back, all they'd be doing is saving me paying a clean sheet bonus. Cheers, Kulusevski. Brommerpoiken, a legend, puts it in the back of the net. Sadly, that goal is just going to be a consolation. Time is whittling away. And right as they ruin the moment of me being able to say we're into the final, there's another highlight. Kulusevski to Lewis. I mean, if they score one here, do I panic? Should I be panicking? We've played the 5 minutes. It's going to be fine, right? If we now do somehow concede another goal, it will be the biggest bottle of all time. But I'm just going to remain stubborn and remain firm. I'm not touching my tactics. We're just going to keep playing the way that we play. There's seconds left. We can't bottle it from here. Football Manager, don't do any funny business. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, 3-0 looked really emphatic. 3-2 just looks like we've scraped it. I feel like that doesn't really reflect the game, does it? Nobody gave us a chance, but yeah, proved the doubters wrong. My, oh my, oh my. What a result there. We've knocked out Man City. We knocked Arsenal out of the Carabao Cup. If we want to win the FA Cup, we need to knock Arsenal out of it in the final. The date for that game is the 24th of May. Get it in your diary, Wanderers fans. It's coming up in literally 2 minutes, but yeah, get it in your diary still. Wallace, man of the match, goal and an assist for the left-back. Recently, by the way, got his first ever goal for England too. Now, there's just 5 games left of the Premier League season, and you can actually see them here. We've got Man City, Leicester, Newcastle, Southampton, Brighton. Newcastle and Man City definitely aren't easy games. As I've already mentioned, I've kind of accepted the fact we're going to be finishing probably 5th or 6th. Still is a slim chance we could be battling for top 4. If that is the case, I might be doing a bonus 3rd game today. I'll join you in a mo at the end of the season. Will it be us fighting for top 4? Will it be a FA Cup final? Stay tuned and find out. Okay, folks, we are at the final league game of the season, and I realised something as I was going into this game. It's the new Champions League format, isn't it? 5 Premier League teams are going to get European football next year in the Champions League. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Champions League obviously has the new format in real life. As part of that, the nations with the highest competition nation coefficients that you see here get an extra spot in the league phase of the Champions League. What that means in the Premier League is whoever finishes 5th gets a spot. And because in Football Manager especially, the Premier League's quite good. If we just flick through all the historical years, you'll see here that 5th place always gets Champions League football. So I really wanted to big up the status, so I went into the final game of the season because we are in 5th. And, well, we aren't in the top 4. I don't need top 4 for Champions League football. What an anticlimactic way to realise what we've done. If you were wondering, by the way, in the previous games that I've played in this run into the end of the year, we managed to beat Man City 2-1. This felt like a really pivotal game because they were the team in 6th behind us. In hindsight, wasn't exactly that, because if we look at their form to end the season here, they've been awful. They've not won since they beat Manchester United at the start of April. As for the other games we played, 4-0 against Leicester, 2-0 against Newcastle, 4-0 against Southampton. Great to keep a nice little run of clean sheets. Our final game of the league season is against, as I've already mentioned, Brighton. I'm not going to bother doing it in a video because we've got an FA Cup final to play. It is worth noting, however, Aston Villa technically could still win the league. They are the only team that can catch Arsenal, who are away from home against Liverpool. Aston Villa are at home on the final day. Imagine if Aston Villa go from finishing 13th 2 years ago to winning the Premier League. That would actually be mental. You join me here as we are running rampant against Brighton. We've just scored a 3rd goal via Brennan, but the reason I'm back is to see how the end of the season plays out at the top of the table. Aston Villa, last time I checked, were winning 3-0. Arsenal are not beating Liverpool yet. I think it's 0-0 in their game still. If Liverpool get 1 goal, Arsenal will bottle the title on the final day. Obviously, for us, a clean sheet would be great. We've already kept 3 in a row. A 4th in a row going into that FA Cup final against Arsenal would be massive. We're not going to get it, though. Conor Bradley, 1st goal of the season. It's a wonder goal. Of course it is. I'm looking at the time in the top left. You can see the live league table here. We're doing everything we can here. It's not going to be enough to move us up the table. Can Liverpool get a late goal to break Arsenal hearts? The answer is no. Aston Villa miss out on becoming Premier League champions on goal difference. We were only 3 points off the title. It's a bit of a shame that we couldn't be in it to win it at the end. Sadly, as I mentioned, everyone above us won. But as we've already identified, that is going to be enough for Champions League football due to the coefficient stuff. Well, that was a little bit of excitement, wasn't it, ahead of the FA Cup game? That match in 6 days' time at Wembley. We got an injury to Sheldon, apparently. Good news, he'll be fit for the final. That is a relief. We've been given, by the way, £30.9 million in prize money for finishing 5th in the Premier League. That's quite nice, isn't it? Our overall balance this year has kind of plateaued out. The amount we're spending on wages is almost exactly kind of in line with the TV money we receive month to month. Obviously, Champions League football is hopefully going to mean we generate more money, and we do get that bumper prize money, which takes our overall balance now to just shy of 30 million. So here is the current league table indicating we will be in the Europa League. As I mentioned, we are all but guaranteed a Champions League spot. Not 100% sure when that actually updates, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to worry about this. We've got an FA Cup final coming up against Arsenal. I've already bottled 1 final against a North London club this year. Football Manager gods, please don't make it 2 for 2. Okay, folks, one last game to end the season. Season 8 has been a successful one. Champions League football, 2 cup finals, I'd love to end it with some silverware. Please, Arsenal. Look, you've won the Premier League title. You don't need to win anything else. Now, Marcus Sheldon has just been crowned PFA Player of the Year. Not even Young Player of the Year. He has been decided to be the best player in England for the year just gone. We are going to be looking at him to have a big performance here. 18 goals, 17 assists, 7.44 rating. What a season he's had. In terms of the rest of the team, Rashid Mohammed has picked up an injury, sadly. A pulled thigh, the kind of thing I could risk him with. With it being the last game of the year, I'll be honest, I am tempting, but I'm already really risking things by having Lancashire on the bench, although Lancashire's now not passed his fitness test. I was so sure he was going to be back. Well, you know what, Rashid, you're on the bench instead. I too feel so bad for Will and all the injuries he's had. It really sums up his year that he's not got fit enough to play this final game. Ajaria has had an absolutely insane end to the year. In his last 20 games, 3 goals, 8 assists. He has been a revelation at right wing back. Compared to the previous couple of years, he has just been a super standout player, not just going forward, but also defensively, which is amazing to see. I mean, in terms of the team we actually have selected here, it is not dissimilar to the team that featured in that Carabao Cup final against Tottenham. I'm going to hope that today gives us a different outcome. You'll notice that with all the injuries, Brennan is playing at pressing forward for us. He had as well a really good end to the year. 2 goals and an assist in the 4-0 win against Southampton. This man has just earned himself a new contract that kicks in at the end of the year. Scored in our previous game against City at Wembley. Hopefully he can do it again. I don't know about anyone else. This feels like a big game. You know what? Standing desk. Activate. Let's do this. I'm going to do the team talk as the desk moves up. Oh my word, it's big time, folks. There is our lineup for the game. We come into this game 5 wins in a row. After that win in the FA Cup semi-final, we've looked near untouchable, albeit with the exception of a Newcastle game, matches we definitely expect to win. Oh, I need to win and end the season on a high, please. And just as a little reminder, the whole reason that we are doing this save game is because of Wanderers' history in the FA Cup. They were the first team to win the FA Cup 3 years in a row. Admittedly, the last time they won it was in 1877. That is a little while ago. Can we win after over 150 years of waiting? I did question when I started this save game, would we ever get to this match specifically? An FA Cup final with Wanderers. That was kind of the grand vision. Now that I can kind of see the timeline and how the save game's gone, I'd love to win a Champions League and a Premier League, a bare minimum. Obviously, I'm saying that like we've won this game here. We definitely haven't. It's been a quiet opening, but a chance now for Sheldon, who whips it back post. Henderson heads it over. Arsenal now with a throw-in on the near side. Rice, Martinelli, cutting inside. Do not foul him. Odegaard back wide with Rice. This is unpleasant to watch. It's blocked. Saka, Markelov shoots, headed away. This is just, please, end the highlight football manager. Arian B gets it away. That was scary. Jalzinho, the star goalkeeper for them, is obviously going to be expected to make some big saves if we create opportunities. We need to score goals. We've found that hard at times in cup finals already. Saka, top goal scorer in the Premier League, is through. Caleb Anson, you beautiful man. I don't know if you can tell, I feel a lot more bouncy and animated with the standing desk. I feel like I can kind of be more free-flowy. I can feel the energy of Football Manager coming towards me and react more appropriately given the stakes at hand. We need a win here. I can't explain how much I want to win this FA Cup. Season 8, an FA Cup win, it just sounds good, doesn't it? Oh, there's 10 minutes left of the half. Nothing is happening. I mean, at the same time, they've not scored. So you know what? I'm going to encourage the players. Let's try and get them praised. As soon as I've praised them, they've all got green, happy, smiley faces. Imagine if they score now. I've done the right shout at the right time. The players have reacted appropriately. Will Football Manager now reward me? Well, I was going to say with a goal. There is no one up there. Arsenal looking to play it out. Javet lays it to Odegaard. Buyas through. Oh my word, Anton's made another save. I can't believe I'm saying this. I've not used it much this year. I think it might be necessary, folks, to go to the more conservative system. Meredith drops back from striker to play centre attack in mid. Brennan plays up top alongside Sheldon. Nothing else really changes besides the roles in the defensive mid area. Oh, I'm not enjoying this. Okay, set pieces have been something we've been very prolific at this year. We need to take our chance to defend one here. It's whipped in. It's headed away. The ball is going to be kept alive by Markelov. And the highlight just ends. Football Manager is toying with me, but at the break, it is 0-0. It is 0-0. I'm far from happy with what I just saw from this team. Gavin Wallace is anxious. Gavin, Mate, I've got faith in you. Look at that. I've saved it. He's stood up and clapped there. He's that happy. I'm actually going to tell the exact same to the strikers. They've been a little lacking in this game, it has to be said. But I just need them to take the one chance that maybe comes our way. We're going to the defensive system. I'm going to invite Arsenal forward that little bit more. Try and hit them on the break where we can. Well, we could have a chance here. Meredith, Sheldon, 2 strikers ahead of him. Tries to pick out Brennan. The pass a little wayward, has to be said. But Ajaria is going to latch onto the play. Sheldon, down the line, goes down in a heap. That can't be a penalty, can it? It didn't look like a penalty. The good news is if it is a penalty, Sheldon's on the pitch to take it. We missed one in the semi-final earlier. It's going to be consulted by VAR. There is no penalty. There is no penalty. I'm just sad. Less than 10 minutes played in this second half. The more defensive system is going to mean Arsenal perhaps press higher and are able to come on to us more. That's going to leave the space in behind for us to hopefully attack, especially in the wider areas. Flood at Regista, coming short and offering an option. Arian B looking to his left. Gavin Wallace is down the line here. He's going to pick up the ball a tiny bit isolated, but some space, I was going to say, to pick out a pass for Brennan. The pass in the end is wayward. Arsenal now with possession, looking to play it out from the back. Markelov, Rice, Martinelli. Can we get a tackle in? We can. Nice one by Henderson, but Markelov on the overlap keeps it alive. Arsenal with 2 players in the middle. He shoots. It goes wide. I think I've seen enough here. I'm going to make some changes. Hatswell and Flood, I feel like, are struggling in the midfield. McHugh and Gallagher on you come. Fresh legs there, I think, the order of the day. Sheldon's not having the best of games, but he is just the kind of player I feel like you have to keep on. I'm going to take off Brennan. I'm going to bring in Rashid Mohammed. The 2 Reading youngsters, they started their career together at Reading in League One. We signed them as a pair, really, these 2 strikers. They've been with us from the Championship now into the Champions League, and I'm looking for them to be the 2 strikers who bring us home some silverware here. There's 20 minutes left. We have not found a breakthrough, neither of Arsenal. It's been a cagey final by all accounts. The match momentum definitely in Arsenal's favour, it has to be said. But all it takes is one opportunity. I'm going to encourage the players here. I want them to just calm the nerves down a little. We're underdogs. This is fine. I'm looking in the top left. It feels like we might be going to extra time here, unless there's some late drama in added time. And that added time is going to come. It's going to go. The dreaded penalty shootout looms in the back of my mind. I don't think we've won a penalty shootout in this save game. At least not in a live commentary, in a game that really matters further into the competitions. I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. Dorrington's lost confidence. I've got faith. We've saved that there. I mean, I don't really want to make more changes if I'm being completely honest, but I have 3 subs and fresh legs might be the order of the day. You know what? Adam May on Ucum. James McConnell at right wing back on Ucum too. Meredith has struggled at centre attacking mid, but to be honest, I just don't really have the options to make this kind of change, which is a bit of an unfortunate thing, but it's just the reality of the situation with some of the injuries we've got. I feel like if I stay on the cautious mentality, I'm just inviting Arsenal on to attack and attack and attack. I'm going to change the mentality here to attacking. When we do get the ball, we're going to start with all the players deep. We're going to commit forward and try and catch them out. They have dominated this game, but they are not finding a way through. Our defence has been something of a revelation this year. We've been way better at the back. We are seeing that in this game here. We invested a lot of money in our centre-backs. They've done the job a lot of this season. I need them to keep doing the job they've been doing here as well. There is going to be a chance. Rice launches it forward towards Saka. Arsenal have kept their big players on. James is bringing it on through the middle. Jeremy Doku in the wide area. Could cut inside. Could square it. It's into the middle. Shaquille Van Persie taps it in. And he makes it 1-0. And apparently that goes down as a McConnell mistake. I brought on fresh legs in the wing-back area. Would Ajaria have made the mistake? We may never know. I mean, at this point, I've got to go to the 3 striker system. Anson couldn't get down to it. Van Persie's son scores for Arsenal in a cup final, and I feel sick. Okay, our legs are absolutely gone in the final third. It has to be said. Sheldon cannot run, but I don't have enough subs to take everyone off who can't run. Rudy Shirtliff against the tiring defence is basically my secret weapon now. He's determined and he likes to run. That is basically him in a nutshell. In terms of how we're going to play this now, I'm going to distribute it to the flanks, I think. I think we're going to try and work the wider areas a little bit like we have in some of these bigger games. I need a goal. We've not looked like scoring all game, it has to be said. When you look at the match momentum, we did actually have a good start in extra time. That goal is a bit of a sucker punch. We're already really attacking. There is 4 minutes left. I need a miracle. I need a hero. McConnell can't play attacking mid. He can kind of play right mid. May go forward. McHugh, centre attacking mid. I mean, at this point, this is the visual kind of representation of a mental breakdown, isn't it? But it is needs must at this moment in time. We need a goal. We need a moment of magic. Sheldon on attack. Rashid Mohammed on attack. In possession. Go more direct. No, this looking for the overlap. Just get it into the final third. Into space quickly. There's 2 minutes left. Is there to be late drama? There isn't. It's a familiar feeling. It's another defeat at Wembley in another cup final. A year that could have been a domestic double. Ultimately, peters out into... Oh, I was going to say mediocrity. I feel like mediocrity is too harsh a word for it. Arsenal are the champions of the league this year. We've pushed them beyond 90 minutes. And I don't want to watch this lift. I'm just going to tell the players they've been unlucky and flee Wembley. I've done this before, haven't I? Get me out of here. 2 defeats in a row. It's absolute pain, I'll be honest. The wait for silverware goes on. I mean, that game now officially marks the end of the season. It's already the 24th of May. I forget how late the season finishes with us being in the FA Cup. It's a shame it has to end with that disappointment. Apparently, there was VAR penalty controversy. I hate VAR. Even in Football Manager, I hate it, apparently. The board have set the budget for the upcoming season. Wage budget of 1.1 million. Transfer budget of 66 million. I'll be honest, there's one thing I want to do this window. And you might know what I want to do. I want to sign Andy White. He has a release clause to clubs in the Champions League of 63 million. I mean, we're technically not in it yet, so I can't trigger that release clause. I want Andy. That's the mission next time out. We do have the end of season review here. Like I said, it's just been a season of close, but not close enough in so many regards. Not a whole load of transfers made in terms of the transfers we made after the season tick-over date. Both Dorrington and Henderson were the big outlays, really, at centre-back. I think they both more than did their job. In the league, we finished 5th, technically only 3 points off Arsenal, who finished top, although admittedly, when it comes to the Premier League this year, it was an unusual year where no one was really a runaway success at the top of the table. As for the cup competitions, the 2 runners-up just hurt, especially because in the FA Cup, we knocked out Tottenham, we knocked out Man City. In the Carabao Cup, we knocked out Manchester United and Arsenal. Oh, I'm just sad. Finances are good for the year. That's great to see. Our reputation has risen up to 3.5 stars. Of course, Champions League football definitely going to help with that. Here is our best 11 for the year. In terms of the back kind of 7, not a lot of rotation really needed here through the year. The final third, all the injuries we've had at striker just meant we've never really had a settled team. Sheldon won Fans Player of the Year and Young Player of the Year. No surprises there. Caleb Anson, 21 clean sheets as a club record. At this point now, he looks like a really top goalkeeper who's just not very quick. But he is a very good goalkeeper. Ajaria's total league appearances up to 245. That is a club record. And that, my friends, is the season done. Club vision for next year, reach the latter stages of the Europa League. Like I already mentioned, that will update to the Champions League, I think, at the end of the year. In terms of in the league, top half finish and challenge for a domestic cup competition. It's like they know what happened last year. And my contract's up soon. Probably should get that renewed. I'm going to deal with all this admin-y stuff on camera. We're going to kick off next week with a transfer special. The mission is to try and sign Andy White. I hope we can do it. And I hope to see you guys there. If you've got until the end of the video, leave a like. 1 like equals 1 prayer. We are Bottlers FC. I'll see you next week for the start of Season 9. I'm out.